again. I wanted to give you guys an update before I get started again this season. I also wanted to show you how far I got before I closed up last fall. First, a piece of business. Some of you kids out in TV land have been asking where episodes 3, 6, and 7 are. Well, with Bernoulli's big pause, sometimes save becomes delete. High five! I mean, look at these big hairy slabs of meat. It's so cute watching him try and type with his little claws. There might be enough footage left for episode 6, where I disassemble and remove the doors. And for episode 7, where I remove the glass and the car's interior. If so, Bernoulli will get those out to you very soon. You might have noticed that I did a lot of sandblasting last season, which requires a huge volume of compressed air. So it's very important for you to see episode 3, where I show you how to set up a rig with parallel compressors. I just finished filming some replacement shots, and if you look closely enough, you'll see my hair change its length throughout. That episode will be coming to you real soon. Next, I'm going to show you how everything's been holding up. My air compression rig worked great all last summer, with one minor complaint that my air dryer isn't so great. So what I'm going to do is a dirt cheap, do-it-yourself, desiccant air dryer, which will be coming up in a future episode. The portable garage that I built and reinforced last summer handled the winter really nicely. Chris Hemsworth would be so proud of me. Over the winter, we had 2 or 3 nor'easters with wind gusts of over 45 miles an hour. We also had 3 snowstorms with 12 inches of accumulation each. The only problem my tent had with that was the fact that when I would rake the snow off from the roof, it would fall to the sides, giving it about 3 feet of snow at the sides, pulling on these grommets, causing them to fall apart, making it so that my blue skirt, if I didn't go and fix it soon, would fall off. So, as you can see, I fixed it by tying 2 screws on each side. That way, my skirt would stay on. If I needed to do this again, I would not have done this any differently, because with the angle of this wall, there's no way to prevent enough snow accumulation where the blue skirt won't end up being pulled off. And if I had done anything stronger than these grommets, there is a chance I would have irreparably damaged the tent fabric when the skirt was pulled off. So let me start unpacking so I can show you how far I got. Here's my passenger side door from episode 9. As you should remember from that episode, the first thing I did was put in my replacement patch panel here at the bottom. Then I did a media blast to remove the paint and rust from all over the door before I put on the body filler. As you can see here from a different texture. It's a different texture because I only really did a rust sand over it before putting on my first coat of primer. Here's my driver's side door, which you might have seen in the background of episode 9. However, I never really went into detail about it because I didn't need to do as much. I did need to replace the 2 corners used to. But I just fabricated the new pieces the same way I fabricated the shelves for my welding cart. Then I put a rattle can pink over this, as you can see, as a temporary primer, and it's the perfect color too. For my fenders, I was able to hammer out the worst of the dents, as you can see here on this one. I also needed to pull this one apart a little bit to make this completely round again. For these 3 fenders, I was able to completely strip off all the paint and then put a coat of primer on it. For that fender, I was unfortunately not able to strip off the paint, but I did use a rattle can as a temporary primer over the exposed metal. Over the winter, I was also able to get an engine off of a classified ad on the Samba. The Samba is a great website for you bug lovers out there. This engine, while it does turn over, is also in need of a little bit of TLC. So hopefully I'll be able to get started rebuilding this at the end of the summer. There's a few decisions I've had to make. One of them is concerning this hood. I found out that this hood is actually not the right ear for my Beetle. I could tell because this radius here didn't meet up perfectly with the radius on the body. I also could tell because on a 62 hood, there should be the Wolfsburg symbol right here. However, there's not a place to put it. So instead of going all over the moon looking for a hood that fits my 62 or doing some crazy modifications, I decided to just keep it and fit it as best as I could. Another decision that I've had to make is these bugs originally have a 6-volt electrical system, and I was considering making it a 12-volt system. However, I would have to get a larger flywheel, and that will require grinding down the inside of this bell housing, and that's too much work. That, and I wanted to keep this bug as original as possible. Another thing that I am considering is safety features. The 62s actually did not originally come with seat belts. That is something I am most certainly going to add. I'm thinking about adding a new steering column from a later model that is collapsible. These did not come with collapsible ones, and in all honesty, getting impaled by your steering column in a front-end crash is a terrible way to die. Here's the heater channel, and here is a floor pan. Both are very rusted and need to be replaced, which leads to my next decision. On the 62, there was a newfangled feature, this here, which is a sliding door, so that way you can decide how hot your toes were going to be. Here's my replacement piece, and as you can see, I don't actually have the sliding door. And I've decided that it's just too much work to actually add it in. Over the winter, I've also been collecting replacement sheet metal. It should be pretty obvious how getting already preformed pieces of metal is way faster than shaping your own sheet metal. Hence, why I got these. I got most of these parts from Mid-America Motorworks or mamotorworks.com, which is a great place to go for anything you need for your air-cooled VWs or Porsches. Another great place to go if you live in the Northeast is John's Car Corner in Connecticut, which is actually where I got my bug. If you really want to leave the beaten path, there's a great place on Route 36 in Halifax, Massachusetts, that if you look in amongst the trees on the east side of the road, is a junkyard of classic VWs. There lives an old teddy there by the name of VW Mike. He has collected through the years an amazing and treacherous hoard of VW parts. That is where I got my heater channels and my floor pans. My goals for this summer is to get the body off the chassis, finish the bodywork, get the primer, maybe even the final paint and the final top coat on, get the floor pan, the heater channel, all of it welded together, maybe even start my engine, and all with girl power. As always, this show is filmed in front of a live studio audience.